new tire day for the Case 1394. While we got her up in the air, we're gonna check a few things. This seems to leak a little oil out of this breather. I'm not sure why. I'm wondering if the breather itself isn't plugged up and it's coming out of the bottom underneath where it is seal, because it appears there's no seals leaking on it. So I think it's coming right out of the bottom under there because this breather's actually plugged up. So it's new tire time. The rear tires are all good. They're got no use really. Also, the other reason this rim's off when we got the tires done, took it in, is this stud is broke off. Should look like that one, but it looks like this. And of course, good old Case IH says, no, we don't support that anymore. We don't have parts for that. Granted, it is old. Yes, it is. It's 1980s, but I mean, it runs good, and a new one costs a lot of money. So, are you gonna spend a pile of money and replace it, or keep using it until it's got a lot of issues? So I'll take you out to the trailer. We got the new tires here today. I got those put on at a tire shop in town. So we just picked those up in the enclosed trailer so they weren't flying all over the place. And we also got a fuel tank on the other trailer for this coronavirus. Fuel is cheap, so we're stocking up. So we went with the Super All Traction tires. They used to have Field and Road on it, but the tractor doesn't do a pile of Field and Road use anymore. Once in a while I might hook it on an auger, we don't know. Mostly field use, and the slight vibration you get out of these doesn't really bother, and you get a little extra traction out of the I forget what they say, 23-degree angle. Yeah, right there. 23-degree angle is what they use. And I guess it's a little better traction, but it's a little rougher on the road. But so we got those all mounted, balanced. They are a 11.2-24 on 10-inch rim. Just got those mounted and balanced. So we're gonna go ahead and take these out of the trailer here and get them put back in the shop once we get that stud all fixed up. So just getting started here on this wheel stud. It looks as if it's going to be seized right in there, so we're going to give it a little heat right off the bat. Just heat it up, get it red hot, let it cool. We'll come back out in an hour or so and see if we can't drill a hole in it and get an easy out in it. So we'll unroll the torch here and get her over there and heat that stud up. Went over to the bolt bin there and picked out a nut that fits just perfectly inside there. We're going to fire up the welder, generator welder outside, run the cables in here, and use the stick welder to weld inside there and let it cool, and then hit it with the impact, and hopefully it comes out. Usually that heat from the welder, when you weld it, usually helps free it up too. So we'll weld that and let it cool and see what happens. Got the nut welded on there and hit it with the impact after it cooled, and came right out just like butter. So we had this nut welded on here, hit it with the impact, buzzed that right out. Now Case doesn't support this part anymore apparently, so the closest I could find is a M14 wheel nut press-in for a car from the local Napa. The piece, and that's the size of wheel nut I need, and then the piece that actually goes in here, this threaded piece that goes into the hub, is actually M14 by 2 thread. So I'm going to take this over to the main farm, put it in the lathe, and I'm going to turn this all down to 12 millimeters, and then I'm going to run the die over it and cut this thread on it. And then when I'm done, I should be able to turn it in here and back to business as usual. So we took it over to the farm, to the main farm, put it on the lathe, spun her down, threaded it with the die. Not my best work, but it'll do. So we put some Never Sees on that. We're gonna slide her in there. So I just finished up getting that Stud all threaded back in there, and nut on, wheel on, and everything is good as new. Got the brand new Firestone Super All Tractions, and the stud and nut. The Napa that I was at didn't have a tapered nut like this one or like this one, so it is a flat with a washer, which will actually be fine for now because the rim's flat. But I will keep my eye out to get a M14 by 1.5 in a tapered, I forget what they call that, but in a tapered point on there to have the correct nuts all the way around.